This past weekend, I've moved into the final stages of this new thing that I'm making. I'm not quite ready to tell you what it is yet, but I've gotten more done than I ever thought that I would. And no, I'm going to hold you in suspense. But I got a whole lot done, and we'll see. This next week, I might have the ability to get it to a point where I can get it into beta in branding. Maybe I'll still, I don't know if I'll call it alpha. I would call it beta, early beta. And so I might be inviting you to join free for the beta testing, because it's got, one of the secrets to developing stuff well is the hammer test. If either of you who are watching on YouTube can see this picture behind me, that's a slow down sign that I saw in Okinawa. And it was just, it was poetically appropriate. It was poetically fitting. I said, well, slow down. There it is. So slow down. I had a realization this week that when I'm talking to you, how do I explain? Well, we're all finding our purposes in life. And I had this realization that when I'm talking to you, I could do more to try to empower you where you are. Now, I'm sure that if we talked, you could do things to empower me. All of us empower each other. But it just hit me that I could be doing my part better. And I really want to do that. Yeah. So that hit me this week. I know it. So I'm gonna try my best to do. Well, I think that I do some of that with powering with knowledge, but I think I'm gonna try to make it more central in what I'm thinking. Talking about. I'm sorry here. I need to have some of this delicious cran raspberry ocean spray. Well, that's what it looks like if you buy it in Taiwan, anyway. 27% real fruit juice. I mean, can you get any better than that? Let's see what. Well, I don't know. No, I'm not gonna belabor the point with Hong Kong, although the media is finally starting to. But I'm gonna get into some of that stuff in the Taiwan special, because that's the on topic. This week. What I do this week, a lot of computer developing. I'm getting, thinking up a business model isn't the easiest thing in the world. Stuff has to be scalable. They have their acronyms for that stuff, but it just, at every stage of the business, it needs to be profitable in such a way that it can grow and shrink and remain profitable. So you need, scalable. So that if the business gets, there's a certain point where it gets so small that it doesn't exist anymore. But if the business is flowing, it needs to be profitable from the beginning, because that money is what you use to pay for the expansion. Customers want a better product, but you have to take yesterday's profits and spend it in order to make your product better. Because you've got to buy better stuff so your customers will enjoy it. This is just how it works. So it's as if while I'm developing this, I know you're in all suspense about it, but I'm not finished enough to the point where I can justify asserting the branding in the brandosphere and announcing what that brand is and what it's doing. I'm hopeful for next week, because I'm almost to a point where I could go for it. But as I'm developing this, it's the first time ever that I've done anything where I never had questions about what to do next. I'll think about what to do next, but I don't have questions about it. It's like, what should I do? Oh, I know. That's right. Well, that's just what to do next. And I've got the whole thing all laid out, the plans all laid out, what I need to do to get it started as a launch, how it's a viable business model, how it'll actually work. I might actually be able to sell the thing to some investor But I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Why would I sell the idea? I can do it myself. Like, I know how to make it scalable so that I can start it. So I'm looking forward to making that work with you. Yeah, this week, Taiwan special, there's a lot going on in Hong Kong, and I don't want to talk about Hong Kong the whole time. I want to talk a little bit about some Chinese culture stuff. And, one thing, remember I was talking about Moon Jae-in, the South Korean president? I said he's unfriendly and angry. More and more and more keeps coming out about that guy, about how unfriendly and angry he is. And you heard it from me first. I was telling you about that because I see and I get what's going on. I understand it. I mean, no, most of my time has been spent on that web project, and I'm really hoping to get through it and finished with it so that I can get other things going. But just, I don't know where your life is, but in general, I think I said last week, I've had a lot of coincidences where I've been having to explain. I just had to give the bad news to people about why they've lost what they've lost. And this week, the theme that I keep getting is about being prepared. Like being ready for stuff, preparing for stuff is vital. Once the first shots are fired, it's too late to try to get ammunition. Once it's time to compete in the Olympics, it's too late to swim and get your exercise and endurance up. Once war and crime and poverty and food shortage all break out, it's too late to get a life and experience in prayer and in God so that you know how to pray your way through circumstances. You have to be living a life in prayer. You have to have your abilities practiced up every day for years and years. You have to have your preparation done before it's needed. And that's really been the theme that's been hitting me. And of course, I'm always preparing. But the urgency and importance of it has been seeming stronger to me. It's been like a thing. Maybe tell people. I'm telling you. If you've not been preparing, whether it's by praying or whether it's by keeping your 2-week supply of water, or whether it's by learning a skill or exercising, keeping your health up, eating that little bit of healthy food every day, not just once a week, or, here, I'll have one strawberry. Those are healthy, not like that, but like eating a salad every day, that not iceberg salad, but a real salad. Like if whatever it is, if you're not doing your preparation stuff, time's almost up. And you can start still, you might be behind. People that have been preparing for years and decades are going to have a benefit to having done that, and they will have a benefit that people who haven't been preparing for decades won't have. Stuff matters. What we do makes a difference. And the ability to make a little difference for yourself is, I think, closing for just stuff. For stuff. And then who knows what it's going to be. But, for me, I live in prayer. I pray for God's help, and then I try to follow him in doing this or that. And as I do the right thing and I know what he's telling me, I don't just walk through life and say, what is God telling me? I try to figure it out and make the mistakes so that I can calibrate to listen correctly. I don't just say, I don't know what God says, and then give up. Well, there might be a day when things are so crazy that you've got to be able to know what he says if you're going to survive. And all depending on how important it was before, you'll be able to see the difference later. And that's the thing. The window of preparation closes at some point, maybe soon, whatever. But then it's a long delay. Time goes by and by and by. And then later on, and all that time, there's nothing you can do. And once D-Day comes, it's already decided. See you this week in the Taiwan Special.